Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this very exciting evening here at Not Just Travel. We've got our fabulous key cruise partner, Norwegian Cruise Lines, with us. Before we get going with the presentation, I'll do the introductions. If you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the question box on your screen. They do come through to us organisers and panellists. We will answer you privately, so we won't be publishing answers publicly. And like I say, I hope you enjoy the evening. We're really excited to be hosting this on behalf of Norwegian Cruise Line this evening. So, who do we have with us? We've got the lovely Laura Croft from Norwegian Cruise Line and the amazing Nigel Rankin from Norwegian Cruise Line. Between the two of them, you're going to be completely immersed in the Norwegian Cruise Line brand. I know we are here at Not Just Travel. We absolutely love Norwegian Cruise Lines and have experienced some great stuff on their ships in the past. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Laura and Nigel.
Brilliant. Thank you, Duncan, and welcome everyone. This isn't bad, Nigel, is it, for a Wednesday evening to sit here and talk about NCL? That's not bad at all, is it?
No, it's Tuesday actually, but anyway. Yeah, so we're really delighted to take you through the brand of Norwegian Cruise Line and tell you about some of the exciting destinations that we travel to. So I'm going to be covering the travel destinations a little bit later, but I'm going to hand back to Laura, who's going to tell you all about Norwegian Cruise Line and sort of first-hand experience of actually being on the new Norwegian Prima as well, haven't you, Laura?
Absolutely, yeah. We were really lucky to have been on board Prima, the newest ship within the NCL fleet, about a month ago now, and oh, you know, honestly blown away with it. So I am going to be covering a bit about the new ship Prima, a bit about our sister ship coming as well next year, and just really going through why NCL is different to some of the other cruise lines out there. So I'm going to take my camera off so we can really concentrate on the presentation. And let's go. Brilliant. Take this off camera. There we go. Fabulous. Okay, so discovering NCL. So this is just a bit of history, a bit of information about NCL, again, why we're different. So we are one of the world's leading cruise lines. We've got over 56 years of heritage, providing outstanding holiday experiences. We are absolutely the creator of freestyle cruising. We were the ones who introduced it to the cruise industry. So it's really all about giving yourselves complete freedom and flexibility to holiday your own way. There's no schedule or timetable to follow. And that's what's really key with NCL, is that it gives you the opportunity to almost bespoke and tailor your own cruise to how you want to enjoy it. We go to worldwide destinations, so whether that be from closer to home destinations, from Southampton, for example, or right through to our exotic and longer itineraries. And I know Nigel's going to be covering later on in the presentation all of those amazing destinations and itineraries that we go to. You're going to be absolutely blown away by those places that we actually visit. We offer cruising styles for absolutely everyone. And again, this goes back to that freedom and flexibility that we offer. We are perfect for couples, families, solo travelers, and multi-generational. We are definitely multi-generational. I always give a fantastic example of if the grandparents want to take their family away on a really special holiday or a big family birthday surprise, then absolutely think of NCL, because every age group on board NCL is catered for perfectly. We offer award-winning entertainment, and I absolutely vouch we offer the best entertainment at sea. All of our shows are Broadway style, straight from Broadway West End shows, whether that be from shows in the theatre right through to our live music and comedy clubs on board as well. On some of our ships, we offer the biggest thrills at sea. So that includes whether we have thrilling race tracks. Yes, we do have go-kart tracks on board NCL, and the largest rope courses at sea. So if there are any thrill seekers amongst you, then some of our ships do carry those thrill-seeking adventures on board. We have the waterfront, which is our revolutionary quarter-mile oceanfront promenade, which connects the guests with the sea, and that absolutely is true. And I know I've been on board myself where I've been sat on the waterfront, which is an area that wraps around the whole of the edge of the ship, and having dinner, just sipping a glass of wine, looking out to sea. It really connected me with the ocean. It was something really, really special. Exclusive experiences. So what that means is we have the Haven by Norwegian, the creme de la creme of cruise, I call it, and it's our private enclave, which I will be covering as we go through the presentation. And then finally, we will be covering our Feel Free at Sea, which is basically who NCL is. It's for you to feel free at sea. And this is what it will include within the premium beverages, speciality dining, etc., which I'll cover as we go through. So already this is just giving you a little snapshot as to what NCL is and who we are. But in more detail, I want to really cover my own experiences. And like I say, I was lucky enough to be on Norwegian Prima only recently. And she is our newest ship to our fleet. She's actually in a new class of ship, which is the Prima class. And she is just looking absolutely stunning. And she has a sister ship, Norwegian Viva, which is also joining the fleet next summer as well. So we're very, very excited. But the beauty of Prima, and the biggest takeaway I had when I was on board, is that we listen to our customers, we listen to our travel agent partners. And actually, we wanted to bring some new first initiatives to the industry, but also to the NCL fleet. So the designers really designed the ship in a very clever way, and it was all about bringing that space and that tranquility areas on board the ship. And I'm sure some of you have already seen Prima, and where, you know, with your travel consultants that you speak to, we're all mostly on board and experienced it. But we had, you know, it's all about the outdoor deck space. There's a lot more outdoor deck space on board Prima, allowing yourselves to really take in the sea, the ocean breeze, and that variety of feeling free on board. We have multiple pools on board Prima, but the beauty of it is our infinity pools, which are just stunning on there. We have fire pit areas. We have some really beautiful dining opportunities on there as well. And I know a firm favourite was the Indulge food hall, which is where we have a special area within the ship that literally holds over 18 different global cuisines, all in one restaurant where you order through an iPad. It's just a very clever but very effective dining experience, a real immersive dining experience. So yeah, so absolutely loved it, didn't we, Nigel?
Yeah, and I think one of the things I particularly like it, because I'm a bit of a boffin for cruise ships, this is the first cruise ship which has been designed with the engines in the middle of the ship.
Yes.
Allowed is for the back of the ship to be open up where the Indulge food hall is, and all of our complex actually go all look out to sea all the way from the right at the very back, from the top of the ship right the way down to the Ocean Boulevard area on there. And the other thing we've done with creating space, as Laura says, is this ship is the same size as our breakaway class ships, but actually takes 800 passengers less. So it means being able to enlarge the staterooms for your comfort, and the public areas as well are smaller in a way, which makes it more intimate on board the ship. So it's a great feeling of space and intimacy, as Laura was saying, on board the ship. And again, we have got videos available for you to actually view, be on it, and a lot of the travel consultants from Not Just Travel have actually had the experience of actually being on board the ship, so they've got first-hand experience of what it's like to cruise on a new ship.
Massively, yeah. And you know, the feedback I've had from the consultants were blown away by it, and they all said we can't get over how spacious it is, and I think that's absolutely key. So yeah, really excited to welcome her to the NCL fleet, even more excited to welcome Norwegian Viva next year. But yeah, absolutely reach out to your travel consultant to run through their own experiences with Prima. And
there's another 4 ships coming of the same class. So there'll be 6 in that class going forward by 2026.
Exciting times, definitely. Okay, so moving on then to who NCL is and why we're different to some of the other cruise lines out there. And we call it freedom and flexibility at sea, but we call it freestyle cruising. And it is absolutely that. So it gives you, our customers, that chance to feel free, but also giving you the freedom and the flexibility and choice to cruise your own way. So there's no formal dress codes on board NCL. It's very relaxed. We have no black tie evenings on board. However, as NCL style is, you can dress up or you can dress down. Anything goes within NCL. But more importantly, it just gives you that very much that feel of relaxation. And we call it resort casual. You can eat wherever you want to eat on board, so there's no fixed seating or dining times on NCL. So you don't have to be down at dinner at 8 o'clock every evening if you don't want to. The beauty of our freestyle dining experiences is that you can literally eat in a different restaurant every evening. You can eat with who you want, where you want, whenever you want. And that is the real beauty of freestyle cruising. I always would recommend that you book your restaurants, and that's the beauty again, is when you're on board, there's so much choice and you can pre-book those in advance or even when you get on board as well. But yeah, again, it all brings you that choice of the different types of restaurants, which I'm covering shortly with you. And then you stay where you want to stay as well. So we have endless numbers of different accommodation choices on board, whether that be from our solo staterooms for solo travelers, right through to our luxury haven suites as well. So really every choice, every budget and every style that you'd be looking for on board. So bringing over to our accommodation then, we have literally, as I say, every style of accommodation cabins to choose from. We have our studio staterooms that I mentioned, which I will cover in a few minutes time, but they are award winning and they are absolutely worth every penny because they hold no single supplement. And that's the beauty of them. They're perfect for solo travelers. We have our inside cabins right through to our spa mini suites, which give you full access, complimentary to our Mandara spa as well. So again, you can see the different variations that we hold there. And of course, we have our haven suites as well. But moving to our award-winning studio staterooms, these cater absolutely perfectly for independent travellers. They are our studio staterooms, and basically they come with their own studio lounge where you can actually mix and mingle with fellow-minded passengers as well. That's a real hub, it's a real community within our studio staterooms because they have, as I say, their own lounge area where quite often they'll put a message up on the screen there to say we're going down for dinner at 8 o'clock tonight if anyone would like to join us. They often reserve an area in the theatre as well for studio passengers. So like I say, it really is a full community, and the absolute bonus of that is that they hold no single supplement in there. So you don't get penalised, you don't have to pay twice, you just pay the price of the cruise. As you can imagine, they get booked up incredibly quickly, but absolutely they're amazing. I've stayed in one myself, and I was really quite impressed actually with what was in the stateroom. Very compact, but that little bar area there is just fantastic. Now we move on, like I always say, the creme de la creme of cruise for NCL. It's the Haven by Norwegian. This is super luxurious area. It's a ship within a ship feel. So basically our Haven suites are situated at the top of the ship, or like on Prima at the back of the ship. And they are, as I say, very, very luxurious, very private. It's like a private enclave with that privacy area. And they come with their own key cards. So if you are going to be booking a Haven suite, they come with their own key card to allow you into the Haven complex. And they have their own elevators to take you to that area as well. What's so perfect about the Haven is it comes with their own butler. So you have your own butler there and concierge service for every need that you may have. And it really does take that stress away for you. Now, our Haven is absolutely perfect for our multi-generational, our family travellers that want to take the whole family away on a big birthday holiday, for example, or even just groups of travellers together. They come with endless numbers of benefits to a haven. You get priority boarding, priority disembarkation, embarkation, so you're basically first on and first off. If you go to any ports that require a tender, then you would get first off as well, and have the first tender to port as well. You have canapes delivered to your stateroom every day. You've got a bar there in your stateroom that is stocked up regularly with your favourite tipple. You even get invitations to the captain, sorry, not the officers' parties as well. So you can literally have your own party in these suites, and they go from 1 bed right through to a 3-bedroom villa suites as well. So absolutely perfect, as I say, for groups and families travelling together. What's even more perfect, oh, sorry, Nigel, what's even more perfect with the haven is you can still venture to the rest of the ship. So although it's private to haven guests, you can still venture to the rest of the ship and enjoy the entertainment and the rest of the ship's facilities, but they can't come into your havens. That's where it's quite private. Sorry, Nigel.
Yeah, I'll just say but the one I really love about the haven is the pool area, the private pool area, and
Beautiful,
the sun.
isn't it?
And you've got the hot tubs, and then also on the larger ships, like I've just mentioned, the breakaway class and Prima class, they have their own restaurant, and a couple of them have their own gym as well.
They do, yeah, they do. Again, it's giving that privacy, that absolute luxury, isn't it, to have your own bar area and your own restaurant area as well. Okay, so moving that's something quite close to my heart. I'm a real foodie. I know you are as well, Nigel, but we absolutely offer the best dining at sea, and I can absolutely vouch for that. So we have our complimentary dining options on board. We have up to 3 a la carte restaurants. So we usually have one at the front, one at the back of the ship, and usually one in the middle, and they all serve the same menu. It's all complimentary, it's all a la carte off menu. And I think you'll all agree, our restaurants are so bright and they're so airy. And what's really quite unique for NCL is within our restaurants, we have a galley kitchen in near enough nearly all of our restaurant areas. So all of the food is coming out very fresh, quickly, and you know, you have that smell. As soon as you walk in, you can instantly smell that amazing cuisine. With our a la carte restaurants as well, on the menu, you have a speciality dining choice to choose from every single evening. So on the main menu in the main restaurant, you're still getting an a la carte speciality dish to choose from as well, which is something really special. We have our 24-hour eatery, our snack or our pub style food, the local or Oceans Irish pub, if we call it. This is a fantastic offering within NCL because it offers 24 hours of dining experience. Quite often, if you've been out for the evening and you're a little bit peckish when you come home, you can go in there and have the most award-winning nachos or chicken wings that NCL is so famous for. Believe me, I've been in there myself at 2 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, this offers live music in there. It's a real hub of the ship in our a local pub feel. And that offers, like I said, 24 hours in there. Then we have our garden restaurant, our garden cafe, and this is our buffet style restaurant. And again, I think you'll all agree, you know, it really is so bright and airy. And within the garden cafe restaurant, you would just walk around the cooking hub stations and just help yourself to whatever it is that you may fancy. Quite often in there, we put themed nights. So we have Asian fusion evenings, we may have an Italian evening in there. But you would just turn up and just help yourself to whatever it is that you want that evening in our garden cafe restaurant. And then finally, as Nigel mentioned, it's the Haven restaurant. So as part of being a Haven guest, you have your own restaurant there. Beautifully furnished, beautiful decor in there. And this is just exclusive to Haven guests. We also have what we call our speciality dining restaurants in there. This is just perfect if you are, again, celebrating something special, or if you want something that little bit more intimate dining experience. We have all of these different types of restaurants. One in particular I absolutely love is our teppanyaki restaurant, our Asian fusion evening. And I'm not sure whether any of you have ever experienced a teppanyaki Japanese style evening, but wow, it is such an amazing evening in there. So you sit round in groups around a grill area, and you have your own chef there, and he or she's preparing all the food in front of you in the form of a show, and we call it the Show of Knives, and it's just a fantastic evening. You know, you could be in there for hours, but it just is just great fun. I love the food in teppanyaki. We have Moderno, which is our Brazilian restaurant. This is famous for the red and green cards. And again, I'm not sure if any of you have ever been into a Brazilian restaurant. I had a fantastic evening in there back actually when I was on Norwegian Bliss. And it was great because you keep your card to green when you want them, the chefs, to keep bringing out those amazing succulent meats to your table. But a little tip from me, Nigel, is remember to turn the card to red, because otherwise they kept bringing out those meats and I didn't realise. So yeah, they bring fresh vegetables and salads as well, and you can just sit there for the whole evening. It's a great experience in the Brazilian Moderno restaurant. Cagney's, the best steaks at sea, and I can absolutely vouch for that. We had a fantastic evening in there on Norwegian Prima in Cagney's Steakhouse. There you can see that's an example of the waterfront where you could be sat looking out to the ocean, having the best steak and having a lovely glass of wine, just sat out looking to sea. Our Cagney's Steakhouse is definitely one to try. Le Bistro, our little French restaurant, you could be sat in a French restaurant in Paris in there, bringing you the best French cuisine you could ever try. We have our Ocean Blue, which is our seafood restaurant, if any seafood lovers amongst you. And then finally, we have our Onda by Scarpetta, our Italian a la carte restaurant. Now, this was taken from the Bulgari Hotel in London, so you can quite imagine the standard and the decor in there. I had that on Norwegian Prima myself, and wow, I was absolutely blown away by the food on that one. Fantastic. Now, as part of the specialty dining options, we would absolutely recommend that you pre-book them. You can either have them as part of the free at sea upgrade offer, which I will cover later on in the presentation, but I think to avoid disappointment, and because they are smaller than our main restaurants, I would always advise to pre-book those to make sure you're not disappointed. But no, absolutely try them all if you can. They're all fantastic. Now, we all love to go and see a show, and I know Nigel, he's always at the theatre. Every time I speak to him, he's always going to see something or other, and I'm included in that. I absolutely love going to the theatre to see our show, and all of our shows are award-winning entertainment. All of our shows are straight from Broadway style. West End shows, the ones that you're going to see in your local theatre, you can see them on board NCL. They're all complimentary within the shows on board. So we have performances like Footloose on board. We had the Jersey Boys doing a full 2-hour show on Norwegian Bliss. They were absolutely amazing. And we've got Kinky Boots on board Norwegian Encore. But we also have dance sensation acts like Burn the Floor, or even Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which I'm sure some of you have seen. A great, funny, hilarious show, slightly raucous, slightly a bit naughty, but my goodness, it was hilarious. We also have music everywhere. So if there's any Beatles fans amongst you, we have the Cavern Club on board NCL. Rocking the Cavern Club, we have our Beatles tribute acts in there. But round the ship, we have live music playing in most of the different bars that we offer. But we also have deck parties. We have white nights on board as well, where everyone dresses in white. That's a fantastic evening. And then we have our Bliss Lounge, which turns into a nightclub as well. So it really is just something for everyone, something for every taste on board. We even have our dinner shows where you could be sat there having dinner and then having acrobats performing all around you in the form of a show, a real what I call immersive dining experience. And we have our comedy clubs as well. So like I say, just something for everyone on board. So who are we aimed at? Who is our customers? Who do we really encourage to try NCL? And we are perfect for couples. We have our speciality dining, which is great for couples that want to have that time alone without the children, just having that more intimate dining experience. But we also have our adult only venue, which is our Spice H2O area. This is just a really nice part of the ship, a real chilled out area where you can just sit and have a drink and just enjoy that time together in our Spice H2O. But we also have our spa areas, our Mandara spa, where you can have couples treatments. So they do couple massages in there. They even do couples teeth whitening, believe it or not. But yeah, lots of areas that you can have that time together. And then we have our Vibe Beach Club area that you can see there. This is a great area of the ship where you can hire out those little cabanas there throughout the day. But then by evening, it really comes alive, and you know, the live music will be there and you can dance under the stars. It's just a great place to be if you want to be just together. But we are also perfect for the whole family as well, as you can see. So we offer our family friendly accommodation, so that could be our family suites that can sleep up to 5 people. But we also offer our complimentary youth and teen programs as well. So we do have our kids club areas on board NCL, whether that be from 2 years up to our 12 years, and it's all our programs are divided up into age appropriate groups. So kids can enjoy lots of different and safe activities. We have circus schools, we have creative play, we have sports, footballs, shipboard challenges, we even do pizza making in there. But we do have our teen program, which is our entourage, which is for 13 to 17-year-olds. No adults allowed. They like to remind us of that. But that's where they can really hang out and enjoy the time together with no parents in there. It's all complimentary. So again, we don't ask for anything additional for that. That's all complimentary in there as well. And we do offer babysitting services for the babies, but parents would need to obviously be present for those. And then we have our aqua park. So some of our larger ships, the Breakaway and the Breakaway Plus ships, they have aqua parks on there. They have slides, they have flumes, dry slides. Absolutely amazing for mum and dad and the kids alike. And like I say, that's on our larger ships. Some of our smaller ships, like Norwegian Star, Norwegian Jade, Norwegian Spirit, they are perfect for the more traditional traveller, like yourselves, that like to just really enjoy the traditional style cruising with just pure deck space, none of the aqua parks to get in the way. We do have all sorts of varieties in terms of our ships that we offer. We have go-kart tracks on board NCL, yes, but you heard right, we do have our go-kart tracks on board. There's something quite surreal about being sat in a go-kart whizzing around the top of a cruise ship. Our latest ship, Norwegian Prima, she's actually got 3 decks of track where you can be in one of the go-karts whizzing around 3 decks. I was actually on that myself and I came 7th out of 12, so I was pretty impressed with that. I did enjoy it. It was great fun. And then we have activities for the whole family, such as bowling. So Norwegian Epic, for example, has got bowling on there. Always great competitive fun for the family. And then finally, we have our free at sea family and friends offer, where guests 3 and 4 would just pay selected taxes on cruising as well. So that kind of covers who we are, what we're about, who our customers are, and hopefully this gives you a real nice flavour into why NCL is different for you as our customers. But Nigel, you're going to cover now the exciting part of where we go.
Yeah, I do. I am going to, and it's because I've probably been in travel a long time. I absolutely love travel. I've been in it since I've left university, and I've travelled many places in the world, and I've been lucky. Well, it's been one of the best jobs I've ever done, working in travel, exploring different destinations. So I'm going to take you through where we actually travel to and where we are. So if we move on to the next slide, Laura.
Yeah.
We in our cruise line now have 19 ships visiting over 122 countries and over 300 ports of call. And our sort of main hubs are where we travel with both our smaller ships and larger ships, so Europe and the Caribbean and Alaska. And then we go further afield, which I'll come on to in terms of some of our more extraordinary journeys and more exciting journeys down to like Antarctica, our Mexican Riviera and Panama Canal destinations. So starting off with Europe, when I started about 10 years ago with Norwegian Cruise Line, we actually had 3 ships in Europe. For 2023, we've got 10. So that just shows how we've increased in size in terms of our ships and where we want to travel to. Now, during the last couple of years, we've done a lot of research with our customers, and the feedback was we don't particularly want short cruises. What we want is longer cruises, and we want to have longer times in the ports of call. Because yes, your ships are floating resorts and give us all the food and entertainment, but we want to, when we go on a cruise, have that time to explore. So we've done a couple of major changes for 2023 across our fleet in terms of giving you more immersive itineraries and longer durations. And for any of you who've actually travelled with us before, we have the Norwegian Epic that's currently just finishing its season in the Western Mediterranean, which has done the 7 nights itinerary for the last 12 years. So it is time to move on and explore more, because the last 2 years have been extremely frustrating for everyone. We do want to go and travel now and see more destinations. So our Norwegian Epic, you'll see on the top right hand side, is now going to go to a 9-day itinerary. And we're going to make a couple of changes in this one. So it will start from Barcelona, go up to Cannes, and then we get to Livorno. There's 2 great places to actually visit, which is Florence and Pisa. When you try to do these 2 in the same day, it's exhausting. So what we're going to do is overnight in Livorno. So for those who want to go and visit Florence and really have an immersive experience of Florence, you can do. And then the following day, you come back to the ship and spend overnight dining, and then the next day, fully refreshed, you can go off and visit Pisa or some of the other places around to Lake Garda. So that's the type of thing we've changed slightly with us. So we are doing this on other itineraries as well, where you're going to have up to 18 hours to explore by staying overnight. So in addition, we're going to be staying overnight on some of our itineraries in Dubrovnik, which I think is fantastic, because I've never been to Dubrovnik at night. I've only ever been there during the day. And it, to be there quite at night and experience the nightlife of Dubrovnik with the little restaurants and bars and the great music that's going would be great. And then we've got Reykjavik, which is going to be on the Norwegian Prima. And it's great we stay overnight in Reykjavik, because it's so expensive in Iceland. It means you can eat on board the ship and then go off into Reykjavik and spend the night sightseeing in Reykjavik, having drinks out there. And we also do the same in Tenerife as well. So that's quite different for a cruise line to actually stay overnight in some of the destinations. It also means we can spend longer in ports of call like Santorini. We'll stay there until the sun sets, so you get that real immersive experience again. So we can set off after 9 p.m. And you can see we do our 7-night Greek island tour, which is fantastic, on the Norwegian Jade, sailing from Athens. And what I like about this particular itinerary is the destinations you go to. So with Athens, you take in Crete. When you get to Rhodes, we port right in the port at Rhodes, and you can walk into the old town. You're fully immersive into there. Then off to Bodrum in Turkey. Then up to Mykonos. Mykonos, such a beautiful island, and again we can either berth there on the quayside, or sometimes it's tender, but you're straight into the small town of Mykonos. And then Santorini, we do a tender port to Santorini, and then get the chairlift up to the top, and then walk right the way along and get lost in the small towns of Santorini as you walk along to the very end and take those stunning views of what used to be the ex-volcano there. So that's a great itinerary. The 10-night Greek Isles and in Italy itinerary, that's a great one. I did that myself earlier this summer. Again, takes in the great Santorini, Mykonos, Athens, Corfu, and then goes to Malta, then to Sicily, and then back up to Naples and Florence and Pisa. So again, that's a very popular itinerary for next year. Just tell you how popular that is. Last week, out of our top 20 sailings, 5 of them were on the breakaway for next year. And again, it was so popular. One of the exciting itineraries I'm really looking forward to seeing is the 11-day Norway, Iceland-Norway itinerary, which is going to be on the Norwegian Prima. I'm actually looking at this myself for June for next year, where we'll fly from the UK into Reykjavik, stay overnight in Reykjavik. Then we've got 2 further ports of call in Iceland, so you could really go to all of the different places to explore there with the hot springs and the special route around Iceland, and then going back over to Norway, taking Grenja with the fjords. Bergen's a great little city to go to, again, where we port. What I like about Bergen, they've been very clever in actually putting road markings that you actually follow a footpath from the port right the way into the centre of Bergen, right into the old town where the market is and the fish quay is, and the old buildings where you can sit and relax, have something to eat and have a coffee there. So that's a great place to visit. And then we go down to Amsterdam. We go right into the centre of Amsterdam with a new port now. So we go right next to where the major rail station is. So where the railway station is, you can disembark from the ship and walk straight into the city of Amsterdam. You can either do it by foot or you can do it by tram. Very easy to get around. And then we go to Bruges and then back to Southampton. And then we do that itinerary in reverse. A couple of tips from me is if you're thinking of doing that itinerary, it's getting booked up very quickly. But also, I'm travelling from Manchester in June, and I managed to see that EasyJet have just released their flights out now, and they are very reasonably priced. It was £40 plus the bag, so £83 for a flight out to Reykjavik, which was superb value compared to another airline I was looking at the day before, where it was 175. But I know that your travel experts at Not Just Travel will be able to help you with that sort of inquiry. That's a great new itinerary on a great new ship we've got. And then we've got other itineraries that we do up to Norway from Southampton. But another itinerary we've introduced for this winter is the Canary Islands. And we've done a combination of different itineraries for these. So we embark, next slide, Laura. We embark on 3 different places. You can either embark in Malaga, Lisbon, or Tenerife. So this gives you greater choice of where to embark from and which destination, which itinerary you want to take. So we do a combination of 10, 11 and 14 nights on Winter Sun. If you're thinking of this Christmas, or you know any of your friends who are interested in Christmas, we've got Malaga on the 20th of December, embarkation, and Lisbon on the 22nd of December, which means you can then spend Christmas and New Year out in the Canary Islands. So there's a real opportunity. They're proving very, very popular because this has only been on sale now for about 3 months with us. So it's proving very, very popular. And these itineraries run up until the end of March. And what I would say is, in terms of flights, we're the only cruise line going out of Malaga. So with flight prices and demand, Malaga is a cheaper embarkation point than Tenerife is. Flights to Tenerife are quite expensive at the moment. So that's a little tip from me. But as you can see, there's great ports called the Norwegian Sun. So moving further afield now, we go to the Caribbean. The Caribbean we feature with up to 11 ships throughout the year, not all at the same time, but 11 different ships. So you've got smaller sized ships or bigger sized ships that are featuring into the Caribbean. But what I like about it is the flexibility we offer. We offer itineraries to the Southern Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean, the Western Caribbean, and a combination of durations from 7 nights to 8, 9, 10, 11, and up to 14 nights. But the other flexibility we offer is we depart from different ports of call. So our head office is based in Miami, and we have our own terminal in Miami, and a lot of the ships depart from there. But in addition, we also have ships sailing from Tampa, from New Orleans and New York. So this means with like New Orleans, you could do a Dixieland tour and then go on a Caribbean cruise. Great combination. Or you may want to spend some time in New York. So why not go to New York and sail down to the Caribbean? And I know one guest I spoke to said it was snowing when they arrived in New York in the winter, but 12 hours later, they were sunbathing on the deck going down to the Caribbean. Great combination. So again, use your travel experts at Not Just Travel, because they'll be able to combine these type of holidays for you and for how you want to bespoke them. So we've got a great combination in the Caribbean, but we have got a couple of specials in the Caribbean for you. And the first one is Great Stirrup Cay. This is our own private island, which is exclusive to Norwegian Cruise Line. And we were the first cruise line to have our own private island. And we've developed this over the years. I went to it 6 years ago and then again last year. And the improvements that have been made by here, we have a team who actually work and live on this island. And they've developed it. And during COVID, they actually built a new area called Silver Cove, where we've actually got villas that you can hire out for the day, or if you're in a haven, you have one of the villas for the day. And I'll tell you what, the white sand and the blue sea is just tranquil to actually go there. What I love about it from the first time and the last time I've been to it is there's no lucky people trying to sell you stuff on this, because they ain't allowed on a private island. We also have other activities on this island as well. We've got a zip line on it, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling. But what I love about it is it's pure paradise, because if you want to do the activities, you can. If you want to do nothing, you can do nothing. It's your choice. And that goes back to what we are, is freestyle cruising. It's your holiday after all. You do what you want to do and when you want to do it. But honestly, going to a private island is a magical experience. I always remember the first time, and I said the last time I went, I loved it. And we've also got another private resort, which is called Harvest Cay, which is off the coast of Belize. This is again a private enclave. Again, got all the facilities that I've just mentioned. We've got on Great Stirrup Cay. In addition to that, there's a coral reef you can actually use, go on as well. So that's another of our itineraries of a couple of exclusives to NCL.
Also, Nigel, as part of a haven, so if you are a haven guest, you can actually take your butler ashore to Great Stirrup Cay with you, can't you?
Yeah, Laura, I can tell you want to be in the haven. You want to take your butler. Yeah.
But someone's got to carry my bags and pour my drinks for me, haven't they?
It's not going to be me. So moving to another part of the US, one of my favorites is Alaska. Yes, unfortunately, I have been there as well, but I planned this for several years to go, because I have relatives who live in Vancouver Island. But we have 5 ships based in Alaska. We have the smaller ships and we have the larger ships. I went on the Norwegian Bliss, one of the larger ships, because it's got such a panoramic observation lounge to go on. But I went in September and I was wearing t-shirts most of the time. The weather was superb. But if you're going to Alaska, make sure you do the planning of what you want to see and do. When I went to the Mildenhall Glacier, which you see here, it's an amazing experience, because in the morning I was doing whale watching. So there she blows, a couple of pictures of the whales flipping the tails, back walk into the Mildenhall Glacier. But what you do, you start walking through a bit of the forest. And as you go through the forest, there's different stones that say 1940, 1945, 1960, 1970. And that tells you where the ice was. And to me, that has stuck in my mind all the time to think, oh my goodness, I'm standing here and this is where the glacier is now. In 20 years, look what's happened. And it's actually seeing nature. So I experienced that, and that lake I took the picture of that day was absolute turquoise blue. In the afternoon, I was going on a helicopter to the very top of the glacier. An amazing experience to actually walk on the ice. So if you're going to Alaska, do the extra excursion you need to do, because you'll remember that vividly when you come back. The other ones I did was took a float plane to the nature reserves, where I actually saw the brown bears actually catching salmon in the water, and just to see it naturally is superb. And seeing the eagles scouring down over the lakes and fjords was amazing. And then going up to the glaciers in the ship, going right up close to them. Unfortunately, none of the ice actually slipped when I was there, but you can imagine what it's like, and the silence. And also with the whales, and also the seals and the dolphins around the ship. It's just such a magical experience. If you go up to Skegway, make sure you do the White Pass Scenic Railway. It's the old way, the old gold rush time, where you can actually go right the way up to you actually travel into Canada, and you get your passport stamped as well. So another place I've actually visited. And then back to Vancouver Island, must go to Busch Gardens, beautiful gardens in on Victoria Island, and Victoria itself is really beautiful as well. I think you can tell I like Alaska. So moving to Alaska,
just like
we go to Hawaii. When I first started in travel, it was the first destination I ever went on a long haul holiday, and I still remember vividly going up to the volcano. And you can do that again in Hawaii with us. A couple of unique points about ours is we have the Pride of America, which is the only ship registered to be permanently based in the Hawaiian Islands. That means we can operate a 7-day cruise, 52 weeks of the year. So we actually do 5 ports of call, and we do 2 overnight stays. So again, this is where you get the real immersive experience of what it's like to be in Hawaii and getting to use their culture. The other great place we go to see is Napoli Coast. The only way you can see that stunning scenery is either by air or sea. It's not accessible by road or any other form of transportation. And the great thing about it, if you book a balcony cabin, because we go down and back again, it doesn't matter which part of the ship you're on, either way you're going to see it, either going down or coming back from your own private balcony. Best times to go is May to October is the summer, where it's about 85 degrees, and November through to April is the winter, where it's 78. I wish our winter was that temperature. It'd be a lot better than at the moment. But great Hawaii for natural scenery, the volcanoes and the national parks that are there, absolutely stunning. And if you're going all that way, another great combination is to actually do Hawaii and Alaska. You can combine those two tours. They're sometimes described as fire and ice, but it's a very popular combination. If you're going all that way by air, why not take the 2 opportunities together, and then you'll have a fantastic experience. And so moving on to some of our other ones, extraordinary journeys. On these ones, we actually have looked at different destinations that people want to travel to. Again, on these ones, we do use our smaller ships because they're able to get into smaller ports of call. So some of my favourites I'm going to take you through is, first of all, Asia. Asia is just recovering from tourism at the moment. I've done quite a lot of land tours, and this is the 3rd slide on. Quite a few land tours in Asia, going to Vietnam and Thailand. That was before we introduced our cruise line into travelling to Asia, but you can actually now embark the ship and travel to Vietnam, go down to places like Hoi An, which is a beautiful, beautiful little town that survived whether it's Japanese, and no building is either higher than 2 stories there, and it's a really quaint place to actually go. Then you can go down to further down into Thailand. You get to Patong, Da Nang. Then we go down to, so you can go to Bangkok, and then the ship will go down to Malaysia and into Singapore. So you could do a city break in Singapore afterwards. And you actually start off the trip up in Hoi An in Vietnam, and you can actually go through the beautiful, stunning Hoi An experience of the ice. I was going to say I'm trying to remember the name of the places there. It's gone off the top of my head. But beautiful itineraries there. We also feature Japan. We do round trips to Japan as well. And again, that's just recovering. So if you're looking for Asia and Japan, look for at the end of this year and into 24, because that's when the tourism is going to be fully backed up and running there with cruise ships sailing. So flipping then over to the other side of the world, we'll go to Antarctica. Antarctica, we sail from Buenos Aires, we go into the Falkland Islands, but we then go to the most southernmost edge of Antarctica. This is where you'll see the famous emperor penguins. There's the leopard seals, and there's breathtaking views of there. You've got the elephant islands, let's call it, which is a shape of an elephant seal. But actually see the colonies of this wildlife there, and the sort of bird life as well is quite amazing. So if you're looking for that real wildlife experience in Antarctica, this is a cruise to actually look at. And then hopping across to another continent, we're going to look at South Africa. Now, this was on my list for last year to go to South Africa, and I've got everything booked to do this cruise. And then that other variant came along, so I couldn't go on this one. But I did a lot of research on this one. So I was actually flying into Cape Town and then picking up the ship to actually go to Richards Bay, where I plan to do a safari. And then going on to Port Elizabeth, I could get to the Addo Elephant Park, was another one I was looking forward to going. And then further around into Durban, there was the opportunity to do the vineyards, in the winelands. So, and then Morsel Bay, and then the Jade ship then went back to Namibia, where you can go to Wallace Bay, which has the highest sand dunes in the world. And I was going to be doing a 4x4 up there. So really, really exciting things to actually do in South Africa. The other thing you can do also in South Africa, you can do all of these great places by sea. And then if you want to spend a bit longer, which is what I was going to do, was I was going to add on a 5-night garden route tour. And that would have taken me sort of further inland to do some of the other things I wanted to explore longer. And it would have been my 60th birthday there, and I would have actually been glamping it in a safari park. So there is lots of opportunity there. And if you're looking for something really, really special, look at the repositional cruises that we have going from Dubai that sail down to Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles, and then come along to Port Elizabeth, Durban, and then into Cape Town. And then later, he'll be doing the reverse later on in the season. So great opportunity. Love Africa. Still got to do that one. Still on my bucket list. So moving on. Your bucket list
is growing, Nigel. Your bucket list is growing.
It is. I love it. I absolutely love it. There's nothing better than exploring the world. So then we go to the Pacific, and there's some great repositionals here with the ships repositioned from Alaska going to Hawaii, then Hawaii down to Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore. So great opportunities. And then we get into the real special ones of going from Singapore down to the French colonies. You're taking in Fiji, Bora Bora, Pati, and then go to Bali, then sailing around the north of Australia down to Sydney. So great opportunity for that in terms of the repositionals. And then we do the really exciting ones. We do Australia and New Zealand. And guess what? Yes, I am doing this on the 22nd of December, I actually sail. I should have done this last year, but obviously everything was cancelled. So the Spirit ship is actually arriving into Sydney for the first time in 2 years on the 21st of December. She then sets sail on the 12th nighter over Christmas and New Year, and we're going to do an itinerary going from Sydney to Eden, which is just south of Sydney, then going to Melbourne and having Christmas Day in Melbourne. And I'm going to be doing there's not a lot open on that day, surprisingly, but there is an Art Deco tour going around Melbourne. Then we're going to Tasmania, going to do a bit of touring around Tasmania, and then we sail across to New Zealand, taking in when we get there Milford Haven, the fjords, then Dusky and Doubtful fjords as well, a couple of days. Then we end up at Dunedin, which is Port Chalmers, where we're looking to do some of the famous gardens that are there, and actually the Port Chalmers itself. Then we go to a little place called Lyttelton, which is just over the hill from Christchurch. So there, the experience I'm going to do is jet boating, followed by a tour of Christchurch itself. And then we go up to Wellington. And in Wellington, it's quite flat up there. So I'm going to do something really energetic. I'm going to have a bike, but it's going to be an electric one, so I can get and the same in Napier, the next destination. Again, there's some great beaches, but also here they give you a self-guided tour on an electric bike if you want, that you can visit the vineyards. I don't know if that's a very good combination, but a 10-kilometre bike ride you can actually do as a guided tour on yourself or with a group. And then you go up to Taringa, where I'm going to actually go up to Rotorua, where you can experience the Giza Springs and also the Maori village as well, but actually do the Maori dance for us. And then I'm going back to Auckland. And then I should fly home, but I decided I want to have a rest on the way back, so I'm going to Bali for 3 nights before I fly back home. So again, you're not just travel consultants can really help you bespoke the holidays you actually want. So on that particular one, I'm spending a couple of nights in Sydney before I actually go on the cruise. So I'm just trying to give you a taste of what I experience and what we can do in travel to actually help you bespoke the holiday that you want to go to. And I always say, if you're going further afield, you know, make sure that you do the add-ons you want to do, because we can provide the cruise for you and take you to that different destination every day without unpacking. They are floating resorts we have. You've bespoked it with free at sea, so you've got your drinks, your dining, entertainment all included. It's just those little extras you want to do and immerse yourself in those destinations. So that's it from me in terms of taking a little bit around the world with NCL. Back to Laura.
Thanks, Nigel. I absolutely love listening to your experiences, and I think everyone will agree that, you know, if anyone's ever been there, Nigel's been there, or if he hasn't been, he's going. And yeah, thanks for that, Nigel. I think that really gave everyone a real insight into those amazing destinations. And, you know, absolutely reach out to your travel consultant, because they'll be able to come up with those real unique packages and book those dream holidays for you. So we have a fantastic promotion running at the moment. We're offering our 40% off, and that's off cruising, just cruise only, or fly cruising as well. But not only that, we have an offer where if you take our free at sea, which is an upgrade from as little as $149 per person, you get to choose all of those packages. You get all of those included. So you get your premium beverage package, your drinks, you get your specialty dining that I covered earlier, you get excursion discounts of $50 per port per stateroom, and you get Wi-Fi, and you get 3rd and 4th guests as well. Just simply pay tax on selected sailings. So that in itself is incredible value for money. But not only that, we're going to offer you £250 per person up to air credit, and that's actually on selected cruising. We've just introduced Europe 2023 into that as well, so absolutely you can get your flights through us and get some air credit off of it as well. So it's a fantastic promotion. It's running for the next few weeks, so grab it while it's there, and just as I say, speak to your travel consultant who's fully aware of this amazing campaign.
And just a tip from me, because I've got one, with the 12-night itinerary, that was £199. You get 2 nights speciality dining in the free at sea. If you want to add on, there is when you get the option to add on of further nights speciality dining, I've added on an extra 2 nights speciality dining, and it's only cost me £45 per person. And that's incredible value, because normally a meal in probably one of our specialty dining rooms is going to be over $100 if you're having all the different courses. So it is really good value. So I just booked an extra 2 nights. So I've now got 4 nights specialty dining on the cruise that I'm going out. So that's just a tip from me.
That's a really good tip, Nigel. So moving on to free at sea then. So this was introduced a couple of years ago into the NCL product. And basically, it's again giving you, our customers, the choice. And it's a way of you bespoking and tailoring your cruise to what's important for you and include what's important for you. So like I mentioned, with the free at sea, if you upgrade and pay as little as $149 per person, that's based on a 7-day cruise, you get to choose 2 of these packages. So you may wish to take the premium beverage package, which is our open bar. And this is your premium branded spirits, your beers, your wines, your cocktails, your mocktails. This is where you get your premium brands, your Grey Goose vodkas, your Tanqueray gins, your Bombay Sapphire gins. Literally the bar is endless with your favourite drink tipple. As long as you don't exceed $15 per drink, you can pretty much have it. Even Prosecco by the glass is included here. So it's incredible value for money. Just to give you a little tip, if you were to have purchased this on board and bought the drinks package while you were on board, you'd be paying as little as $693 for it, but you're getting it from as little as $149. So you can just see that incredible value for money. If you're a bit of a foodie like myself, then you may wish to take the specialty dining package. This is where you would have 2 evenings worth of specialty dining in those restaurants that I mentioned. But that fantastic tip from Nigel is if you want to add another 2 on, you can do, and it will be an awful lot cheaper than if you were to purchase it as on the night when you're on board. If you are a bit of an explorer and you love to get off and see every single port of call that we have, then I would recommend to take the shore excursion credit, and that would be $50 per port per stateroom. Now, this one really comes into its own, especially if you look at some of our real port-rich itineraries, the ones that have a port that you're visiting every single day. That one would really benefit you. You get $50 per port per stateroom in there. Then you have the Wi-Fi package. So if you want to stay connected with home, then you can have 150 minutes of Wi-Fi included if you wanted to take that option. And then finally, the family and friends offer. So like I mentioned, you have for 3rd and 4th passenger would just pay the taxes on selected cruising. So this free at sea really is, as I said, a way of you bespoking your own cruise holiday. You include what's important for you and tailor it to your needs and what you want. So that is our free at sea, and like I say, incredible value for money.
Yeah, and just to point out what Laura was saying, normally free at sea it's pick 2, but at the moment our campaign, if you just flick back to the our campaign is take all of them, so you get all of those packages. So it's a tremendous value. Also, with your 3rd and 4th guests, if it is children you're actually paying for and just paying taxes for them, in the specialty restaurants under the age of 12, the children eat free. And what I would suggest on that one is you just buy them, purchase a soda package in advance, which works out about $9 per day. So we can really bespoke this holiday to make it really cost effective for everybody, for them all to enjoy. And the shore excursion credit, if you're staying overnight in one of the ports like the Vaughan or Reykjavik has said, the actual you get 2 lots of 50, so you get $100 for credit per port if you're staying overnight.
Brilliant. So you can really explore, which is fantastic. So great. Okay, so just a bit of a summary then, really, on what we've covered this evening. I'm sure you all agree it's been a fantastic hour, lots of information, but really hoping it's whetted your appetite, that you can now think about your next holiday on board NCL. So it's about the freedom and the flexibility to cruise your own way without following a timetable. It's your holiday, it's your cruise, you do what you want to do. You have the endless number of different dining venues that we offer on board. You could literally eat in a different restaurant every evening if you wanted to. And there's no formal nights on board. So it's just a very relaxed feel, and no seat dining times in restaurants either. So again, it's all about giving you that choice and freedom. It's the different types of accommodation that we feature, whether that be our studio staterooms for sole use, right through to our luxury haven suites by Norwegian. There really is something for everyone on board. Then it's our Broadway style shows, our West End relevant shows that you would see in your theatre, all included within the price of the cruise. It's those amazing destinations that Nigel went through with you that you can wish and explore and enjoy those amazing places that we visit. And then finally, it's the free at sea. It's the freedom to choose what's important for you for your holiday. It's the dining, it's the drinks package, Wi-Fi, shore excursion credit, all included as part of our free at sea programme. And that's it from us. So I think we'll put our camera back on.
Yeah, and I'll just explain one experience that I had while we're just sort of going to take some questions, is one of my friends who I actually met on a cruise a good 9 years ago, who become best friends. They celebrated their 50th birthday about 4 years ago, and he invited 20 people of his best friends, and we went along. But what we did on the first night, the second night, we all ate in the bistro, but he wanted us to wear tuxedos and then cocktail dresses. So we all got dressed up for his birthday party together. But then the other nights of the week, he then had individual meals with all of his other different friends throughout the rest of the week, while they went off and explored the ship and enjoyed the entertainment. And 6 of them had never cruised before, and they all rebooked to go on a different cruise themselves. So as I say, it's a great way with people getting back to celebrate different things now in a different type of way. Cruising just offers, you know, those opportunities for people to do it. I always remember that experience. So you can dress up, dress down, do different things, but it's a great combination to have on a cruise. I better shut up and leave it over to you now, haven't I? Back to you, Doug.
Okay, guys. Nigel, Laura, that was absolutely amazing. And, you know, I've sailed with Norwegian Cruise Line a number of times myself. I absolutely endorse the brand. I think it's fantastic. And Prima, for anybody interested in Prima, go for it. It is amazing. So many things, you know. Nigel, we've been around the world in the last hour. I love that. Hawaii is on my bucket list for my next big birthday in the next couple of years. So very, very excited for that. And we do have our personal travel consultants at Not Just Travel do have access to all of these fantastic itineraries. And we do work with Norwegian Cruise Lines very, very closely to build that perfect holiday for you. So just to wrap up, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Please, if you have any questions, go back to your personal travel consultant that invited you to our exclusive event this evening. Nigel, Laura, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.